Oh, hello there. I hope you are having a wonderful Friday. Welcome back to Crafters TV. My name's Joe, and we have got a very, very special couple of hours lined up for you because we are, of course, talking about the Craft Along, our opportunity for everyone to craft along together in real time, focusing on one of our recent fantastic launches. And today it's all going to be about the inverted nesting dies, which I know so many of you own already. So many of you are so excited about making something fabulous with. And the lady that is going to be teaching us all this fabulousness is the lovely Debbie Robinson. How are you, Debbie?
Oh, I'm absolutely fine, ready and raring to go, and I can't wait. So, do you want to know what we've got planned in case this is the first time you've actually just tuned in and not seen any of our social media pages? This is what we're going to use, making these gorgeous, and they are beautiful, these dies, very versatile dies. So this is our inverted nesting dies, and we're going to make this lovely triple easel from start to finish using the inverted stitched scallop square for this particular one. But there's so many ways that you can use these. So we're going to do this. The butterflies are optional, Joe. Butterflies are optional.
Always need butterflies.
Yeah, and we've got a couple of lovely verses again that you know, I absolutely love, and we'll talk a little bit more about them later. But this is what we're going to be doing, and we're going to do it from start to finish in this 2 hours. And if we get done before, bonus, I can shove some more demos in. I said shove. Make some more demos. That's the proper terminology there, not shove. But if not, I'm going to take you from start to finish. On that 2 hours, I guarantee we'll get this done.
Awesome. Well, it isn't too late for you to join us if you'd like to. Let me share with you everything you're going to need for this craft along. So it's all stuff that I think, so long as you've got the inverted nesting dies, need. So here we have the inverted stitch scallop square die is the one that Debbie will be using. You will need some sort of scoreboard. You'll also need a paper or card pad. Debbie will be using the 12 by 12 warm tones. You need some stamping card. You're also going to need some stamps for those sentiments. Happy birthday, special friend. And the optional butterfly in there too. And a few other bits from your stash that you might also need. Foam pads, your adhesives, a couple of ink pads, some embossing powder, and also some scissors too. So you have got a few more minutes if you'd like to just gather that lot together and join us for this incredible craft along. Because we're all going to be crafting along together at the same time, so what's lovely is if at the end of it we can all share pictures too. I'll let you know the details on how you can do that as you go through the show. But it's not just myself and Debbie, we are joined by a couple of fabulous guests in this show as well. And the first lady that I want to introduce you to is the lovely Pamela. Pamela, how's it going?
I'm great, Joe. How are you?
I'm so good, thank you. So lovely to have you here joining us on this Friday. Where are you joining us from, Pamela?
I live outside of Hilton Head Island, South Carolina, and just north of Savannah, Georgia.
Oh, amazing. Pamela, I must say, your accent is absolutely incredible. We love it. Me and Debbie are nodding along here. Have you got all the bits and bobs you need? Are you set like a coiled spring, ready to burst into crafty action?
Oh, I am so ready, Joe. I just can't wait.
Ah, fantastic. Well, I'm going to drop in on you as we go along. I can't wait to see what you share with us at the end. Let's also drop in on Emma too. Emma, how's it going your end?
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm really good, thanks. We've all got that Friday feeling in the studio, Emma, which is awesome. Whereabouts are you joining us from?
A cloudy Sleaford.
Oh, okay. Not too far from where I used to live, actually, in Peterborough, which is awesome. Have you got everything there? Are you primed and set to go, Emma?
I've got most of it. I won't be able to do the embossing, though, because I haven't got any of the items to do that.
Oh, no problem at all. You can just, I think it's all about sometimes, isn't it? Just sort of winging it, making the best of what you got.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Right, well, I'll be dropping in on you very shortly as well in that case, Emma. If you have got any questions for us as we go along, there's anything you need Debbie to recap or go back over, then don't worry, I am here. I'm your servant. You can get in touch with me very easily. Crafters TV, of course, over on Facebook, or if you are on YouTube, make sure you subscribe there, and it's Crafters Companion that you need to do to get in touch with me over there, which is awesome. Lots of you saying hello. We'll come to those in a little while. But I think, Debbie, if you're ready, it would appear that everyone in the comments is ready. Debbie just gave me the most alarmed look when I said, if you're ready, Debbie.
I thought like you were giving me a couple of minutes. I was just trying to get my plates together. However, I am ready. I've got my list already. I've got my little pencil to tick everything stage off, because I'm going to take you through how to create. First of all, we're going to start with, I think what we need to start with is the card base itself, and then we'll move on to those inverted nesting dies in a moment. So first things first. Now you can use either a Ultimate Pro for this, or you can use one of our scoreboards. So I am using the Scoremaster, but if you've got the big score, you can use the big score. And if you've got the Ultimate, you can use the Ultimate too. Right, so first things first, we need some stamping card, because if you know me well enough by now, you'll know that every single piece of card that I come here with, I just use this. This is a great card stock, and it's why I never ever buy any card bases. I make my own from scratch, because we've got the tools to do so. So with that said, are you ready, Joe?
I am indeed.
Grab your scoring tool to hand, and I'll just pull mine out so you can see this. We're going to turn this. Now I've got my stamping card. I've actually popped it onto my board the portrait way. Get that the right way around. Portrait way. So you're going with the shortest end, and what we're going to start with is we're going to start to create this twisted easel part, and it is very, very simple and easy to do. So I want you to push your white stamping card up to the butt of the board, and we're going to do this in the centre. Now I'm not cutting anything down on here, because we're going to make this base with this one sheet of card. So what I need you to do is go to the number 4 inch and then an 1/8 on. So it's the number 4 and an 1/8. So it's the first increment after the number 4 inch, and you are going to take your scoring tool and score from top to bottom. There we go. So we're going to do that a couple of times. Take care not to be heavy-handed. I'm just breaking the fibres. If you've ever watched Ali Ann, she'll tell you, break the fibres, it makes for a nice, easier cut. Sorry, fold. Not a cut, Debbie, not a cut. Already started. And then I'm going to give it a nice burnish, just a nice, using your scoring tool to get that lovely crease there in the middle, okay? Then what we're going to do is we're going to turn it onto the landscape way. So flatten that back out. You're going to then, and then I want you to think about how you could do this. Now, I will talk about the measurements on the Ultimate in a moment, but I'm going to start with this Scoremaster. What we're going to do now is to create 3 panels for the easel. So we're going to create ourselves a couple of marks. We are going to use the scoreboard to place these marks in, and then we're going to take a scissors. However, you could use a ruler and a pencil to mark this off. You'll know me now well enough, Joe, that sometimes when I want to create my marks, I will use my scoreboard instead of the ruler, because it's just a bit of an easier tool. But what I'm just going to do is just show you the measurements for this one. So this time we're going an 1/8 under the 4. So you've got your 4 inches here, and we're going an 1/8 under, so you're going this way to the left. Debbie couldn't work out right and left then. To the left-hand side, and you're going to just take this and score it to the first line. Now again, if you are using this as a tool, you could use your pencil, and I'll just show you what I mean. Using that board, you could go to there and literally draw your line down if you wanted. But all I'm going to do, this is going to be what's going to create that cut mark for those twisted easel parts. So that is on the first mark before the 4, so the 1/8 before the 4, and we're going to repeat that. So I'm just going to turn it over. Easy way of doing it, rather than especially if you're working on a smaller scoring board. Just repeat that. So again, this piece of cardstock goes up to the butt of this board, and we're going to go the 1/8 of an increment before the 4, and we're going to score that down to that first middle line. And that is going to be what creates the cut lines. So again, if you are using a pencil, if you want it to be more visible, then you could run that through and do exactly the same, okay? So there are score lines. So we've got a score line there, and we've got these 2 score lines here. These are now what we're going to use our scissors with. So I think if you looked on those list of tools that you need some scissors as well. Now, before we do this, before we do the cut, I just want to show you where we're going to create the marks. But do you know what? I think I'm going to change it. We're going to do the cuts. I think we're going to make it easier on ourselves so you can visually see this. Take your scissors, using that scoring line, and again, if you want to be visible, just take your pencil and go over that score line to make it a little bit easier on yourself so you can visually see something, so you can see it a little bit better now. I think you can see that on the screen, Joe. My eyes aren't what they used to be, so I think you can see that quite easily.
What did they used to be?
Oh, they used to be a lot better than what they are now, let me tell you. So again, I'm just going to take that down and literally put a little pencil mark on there so it makes it a little bit easier. But what you're going to do now is we're going to just take our scissors and we're going to cut to that first score line. So take your scissors and cut to the score line. And then you're going to repeat that on the other side. And obviously I've got my pencil mark, so I'm just going to flip reverse it. There's a song in there somewhere, isn't there? Flip reverse. There we go. So now we have got our 3 panels ready for this twisted base. This is going to be your front part, and these are going to be your, your easel parts. Right. The next bit that we're going to do is create the score lines in these to make this that twisted easel feature. So for the first one, we're going to, and if you think about this now, Joe, you've just got this at just a 4 1/8 square.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go in the centre of this. So again, just making sure I've got my little measurements ready there. We're going to score this panel, and I'm going to twist this around now so that I've got the cut lines facing this side of the board. And I'm only going to go through the centre one, so I'm going to tuck those underneath to make it a little bit easier on myself. And it does make it easier, believe you me, when you're doing this. Make sure that this is flush up to that board. And this time we're going to score down the centre, which works out at 2 1/8 to create that centre panel. So that means your 2-inch score line, 1/8 of an increment, which is that first score line on your board. And we're going to score that from the top to the bottom. And that is our middle easel. So when you take that back and create that first score line, that is how you've got that middle one, okay? What we're going to do now is just the last 2 pieces, which are going to be the twisted ones. I'm going to lay these flat for a second so you can see this. This one's the middle one, but what we need now are the 2 outer pieces. So this, when I say twisted, we're going to do as corners from this corner to that corner, and then this inner corner to the outer corner, using our scoreboard again. And that's, again, do you know, we talk about this having this visual black line. As daft as it sounds, just makes these little bits a little bit easier. So if you haven't got a black line on your board, I suggest you go and put one on, just to make it a bit easier visually, so you can see it when you want to do those, do you know those angled score lines? Do you know when you want to twist something, the diamond ones and things like that? This is going to make your life so much easier. So back to the scoreboard. What we're going to do is we're going to start with this one first, okay? So when you look at this, just pop that down there for a second. We're going to take this now, and I'm going to alter this onto the board. So using my black line again, and also if I flip reverse that for a second, I'm going to put this point onto that black line, and then just give it a slight twist, just to make sure that the top one is on the black line as well. So just repeating that again. Twist that. You can see that is now angled on that black line, and it means now I've got that perfect diagonal fold. Okay.
Awesome.
So again, I'm going to take my scoring tool, and I'm just going to go down and a couple of pieces just there, and then that one we're going to fold over into itself. So just take your time with this part, fold it over and give that a nice burnish. So again, a nice little burnish there, and then we're going to, so now you've got this fold. Can you see this fold going here? What we're going to do is this one, this diagonal from the inner part to the outer part. So again, we're going to use that black line, Joe. I did say, honestly, it makes a bit of a difference with this. Take this piece down, hold the bottom piece onto the black line, and then twist the top part onto that black line, just taking care to make sure it's not moved while I transitioned it around there. And now you can see, again, I'm going to get that perfect score line. And again, I'm going to take my score tool. I'm going to go all the way down from the top point down to that middle point. And again, we're going to fold that over to create that score line. Now, don't worry if it's gone a little bit where you can see a little bit over angle. That's absolutely fine. We're going to be covering that up in a moment. But what you've got now, and if we could just turn it this way to the front, Joe, so I can show you. What you've got now is the part of your twisted easel. So can you see you've got this angle, the middle bit, and this one.
Awesome.
And that is your card base done.
Brilliant. Would you like to take a moment just to recap those measurements?
I can do.
Val was asking what was the original size of the paper too, Debbie?
Right, so it's a piece of A4 stamping card, nothing trimmed, keep it as a whole, so how it comes out of the packet, that's how you start. And when you pop that onto your board, but just repeat that for a second, go pop that down onto your board, you're going to have it in the portrait way, and the first mark is the 4/8 of an increment. So on your scoreboard, you can see there, it is up to your 4, and then that first line is the 4 1/8 all the way down. That gives you the centre part of that A4 piece. So a 4 1/8 of an increment going all the way down. Do you need to repeat any more, Joe, or is that okay?
Yeah, if we can just repeat the other score lines as well, Debbie, where they
Absolutely.
were. Also, Shadiah is asking, is the black line directly on the 4-inch mark, Debbie, on yours?
Yes, it is. So whenever I've got my boards, this is the Scoremaster, which is the smaller one. So that's on my 4. And then on the bigger one, and if I just grab that for a second, because I've got one here. On the bigger one, obviously it's a bigger board, so you can see you've got your 12 inches there. So on the middle of my board on this one, it goes down the 6 mark. So you can see I've got a visual, and I have them on both sides, on the inches and the centimetres as well. So yes.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we'll go back to those markings again, because pretend you've just done that middle one, that 4 1/8, all the way down top to bottom. And then what you're going to do is turn it onto the landscape. So you can see now you've got your landscape, and this time these measurements are the increment under 4, so the 1/8 of an increment under 4. So it's that 1 notch before the 4-inch, scored down to that middle score line. Again, you could take a pencil and use your pencil and a ruler to create that line. And then I just flip reverse it. I make it easy for myself, especially when I'm on a smaller scoring board. You can still achieve these with a small or a big one. And again, you're pushing it up, and you must take care when you're using your board to pop it up to the butt line here. You need the edge there to be right up to that very edge. And again, you're just taking it from that 1 increment under the 4-inch, just to the bottom, and then you take your scissors and use those score lines to take the cut right up to that first line. And then what you're going to do is, and if you remember what I said, I took those 2 pieces in, turned it in to make it a little bit easier on myself so I could visually see it without having these 2 pieces in my way. And sometimes it can be distracting, it makes it a little bit clearer. I always try and make my life a little bit easy, Joe. But on this, to get the middle part of this, it's 2 1/8 of an increment. So it's number 2 inches, but the first increment after the 2 to create that middle panel, and then score that under. And then these 2 pieces is when you use your black line, and we'll start with this one first. So you're going to go diagonal, and on this piece, if you look at it this way again, you can see we're taking those diagonal lines from the centre points there and going out. So if I just move that for a second, centre point out to the top corner, and that's all you do. And again, like I said, Joe, it makes your life a little bit easier, popping that point there onto the black line, and then just making sure that you've got that nice straight line. And you can keep doing that, Joe, until you know, if you think you've moved out of place, just keep checking it before you actually put your score line in. And then you're using that black line to be able to create that perfect diagonal. Fold that over, and then you repeat that on the other side. And again, just pop that onto there. And again, just place it down onto that point, position it into that black line, and do exactly the same and fold over.
Fantastic.
And that is your card base, literally, for a 1-piece card.
Brilliant.
And the rest is all using the inverted dies.
Brilliant. Well, I think that gives everyone a chance to catch up. What I would like to say to you as well, if you don't have these items at home, you think to yourself, oh, do you know what, that card's fabulous, I'd love to give that a go. Don't worry, because you don't need to be crafting along right now this very second. You can watch this show back at any point, and you could grab hold of the dies right now. So let me share with you the dies that we have. We have 2 different collections for you. You've got your scalloped collection, and in there you're going to get the square, the circle, the oval, and you'll also get the rectangle in there, so you've got those ones. And then what we've got the zigzag for you too. And with the zigzag again, they're upside down, Joe. With the zigzag, you are going to get the circle, there is the rectangle, the square, and finally the oval too. So you can definitely grab these now. As soon as they arrive, come back and watch this craft along back at any point, which is awesome. Right. Judging by the comments, Debbie, there is, I think everyone is on the same page, so to speak. So if you're ready to move on to the next part, I think everyone else is.
Fabulous, so we'll get going. So we've got our card base all ready. Now what we need to do is create the panels to stick on either front. So for this one, we are actually going to use our dies from our inverted stitched scalloped square, because if I remove that very first die, this die measures at 4 inches by 4 inches. And lo and behold, each one of these panels, it will fit on absolutely perfect.
This is if you planned it.
Honestly, it's like I planned it, Joe. It's almost like I planned it. Now, this is a standard thin metal die, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to just literally now, taking some cardstock again, white stamping cardstock, I'm going to be able to, I'm going to trim this down because I'm going to use, I like to use my waste bits, keep them to one side for other things. But we're going to cut ourselves 3 of these out. So, while we get on doing that, that's going to be our blank. We need to cut 3 out. So all I want you to do is take your Gemini or your other machine, whatever it is that you've got, and you can cut this out 3 times. Do you know what I might try and do? Let's see if the power will cut through 2 pieces. If not, I'm not going to worry too much, but because we've got such a powerful machine, we might be able to get 2 pieces out of the one. But we'll give it a go, Joe. We'll give it a go. So let's just pop that, actually, tape, low-tack tape. Always your best friend when you're trying something else. Put me little measurements there. Keep everything into its place. And again, pop in our thin metal platform. We're going to just run that through as well. Right, so pop that through your machine. And we need 3 of these. So if you are doing it separately, and bearing in mind these will go through your MIDI, they'll not go through your mini, but they'll go through your MIDI, your junior, your large junior. What's your large junior? The original junior. Wait a minute. The original Gemini and the Pro as well. Whew, got myself out of that one quick. Now then, let's have a look. Oh, I don't know what I'm worrying about. That's cut myself 2 perfect square outs completely. So all I need to do now is run it through one more time and I've got my 3 squares there. So let's just do that again and I'll grab myself a little piece of stamping card.
Just want everyone to know, Debbie, that the scallop collection on the inverted nesting dies that's on your screen at the moment, just here, it has gone limited stock. I will let you know that less than 10% of the stock that we had for the show is now remaining. So if you want them, then do grab them. I'm guessing, Debbie, you'd be able to do the same technique with the zigzag.
I love that zigzag. That zigzag. Oh, I just absolutely love it. I think they're beautiful. I love the design on there. It's like the teeth effect. Just absolutely incredible design. But yeah, of course you can. And there's lots of things you can do with them. And hopefully, when we get this craft along done, we'll be able to show you some other ways that you can use it as well. So, and we've got lots of samples too. So I'm just popping down now my last one for this one. So I've now got my 3 bases. So let's just run that through. So I've got the 2 there. That's my spare pieces of cardstock. Move those to one side, Debs. There we go. And then now you've got your 3 pieces of square base, which is where we're now going to start to play with our inverted nesting dies. So let's just put those one side. I've got a bit of tape stuck on my jaw, so I'm just going to literally grab my pokey tool and just try and get underneath just to pick up that spare tape, because I don't want tape on my design. That's the problem with the low-tack tape.
Easel, do you?
No, I do not want a sticky easel, so I'm just going to get my tape underneath there and lift that off. Perfect. So that one's clean, that one's clean, that one's got a bit of tape on. Let's lift that up. There we go. So let's get that out. And now we're going to play with the cardstock as well after we've done this bit, because now we're going to build up all that lovely scalloped design. There we go. I'm happy now. Happy now, it's all clean. There we are. Right, so I've got my 3 bases, so you'll have 3 of these, and these are going to stick on the front of your base. Now, personally, before you put those on, I would build up your scalloped nesting onto here first, then attach afterwards. That's just a personal way. If you feel more confident and you want to go straight on, you can go ahead and stick them down. But I'm going to do it real time with you and do it the way that I would do it personally. So now what we're going to do is, colour choices. Oh, so difficult to choose which one I wanted, because these are gorgeous and I absolutely love. Have you seen these? I know they're plain.
Is it the warm ones?
The warm tones. I absolutely adore these. You've got pinks and red in this 12 by 12 pad. So it's entirely up to you. You could be doing this with pattern paper if you want, but I've chosen from this said pad. And like I said, you've got, I mean, look at the gorgeous tones in there. I adore this pad. From your reds through to your pinks and then your beautiful bright pinks as well. And I've just chosen from the pink side, I've chosen 4 different shades of pink. So I've chosen my sheets. I've gone from the darkest And you can see that beautiful, and it just works so well. But like I said, you could be doing this with any of the colours of your paper pads that you have. You could also be using patterned papers if you want to do this. It'll be interesting to see how people have done a take on this later on. I'm hoping we get to share some pictures later of what you've chosen. But that's my foam colour tones. And I'm going to start with that deepest one for the largest.
Just to let everyone know, that warm tones, there's less than 20 of those to go around at the moment. So if you've got your eyes on them, if you're thinking about gathering the exact stuff Debbie uses for this craft along, it's very busy on that.
Right, Joe, so what we're going to do now is we are going to take the largest two. Do you know what I love about these? We were talking about this in that earlier show, weren't we, Joe? That you've got the outer die and then the inner part that can be used separately. Used together creates that beautiful frame. You've got them going down in that lovely nested, I mean, you can see just by taking these all off, down to those 4 shades. But there's so many ways you can use these. They really are a lot of fun to work with. Very versatile dies that you can use in a lot of ways. We're going to start with that largest one, Joe. So I'm going to cut my cardstock down to size. You can do it with your trimmers or with your guillotines or just with a pair of scissors. But what we need to do now is we're going to cut ourselves 3 pieces of these. So we need to have 3 squares, one for the outer part, one for the other outer part, and one for the middle bit as well. So you want 3 of these frames. So with that said, I am going to low tack tape again. Now there is a bit of duplicate colouring. I'm getting ahead of myself. Does that colour me happy? It's in my head. Can't wait for that show. Not duplicate colouring, duplicate die cutting is the word I'm looking for. When you are placing this down, what I would just say is make sure you visually can see that it's all even throughout there. And again, just take your scissors and trim this down or your guillotine. But what you want to do is repeat this 3 times. So bringing in my boards again, my plates again. I'm going to run that through and you want 3 of these. So we're going to do this. I'm going to do it in real time as well. Why aren't you going in? Have I got my boards flush? Hang on a minute. Not got my boards flush. Boards, plates. My words
We know what you meant, Debbie. As long as we know what you mean.
I know what I meant. All coming out wrong today. But then you're going to run that through. And then what you'll have got now, and I want you to, I mean, honestly, the waist on this is just beautiful. That is your gorgeous frame.
Lovely.
And you can see that that is going to be number 1 frame, okay? And then you've got this lovely waist, which, you're going to be able to use because it's got that lovely, lovely feature to it. And you could simply just use that for something else in your crafting. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous design there. But what we're going to do, Joe, is we're going to just keep repeating that. So you need to do that twice more. And if you want, you could actually, because this is a thin metal die, this cardstock, let's do it. So we're going to go in with 2 sheets. Make sure I've got it cut to size. Take my scissors again. And then I'm going to just place that on. And this time I'm cutting through 2 layers. So we're going to pop that down. Make sure again you're taking your time to get that nice and even in the centre. And by that I mean you're not got it close right to the edge and you've got a big gap round either side, but you've got that lovely central piece, so it makes your frame really nice and even. So again, I'm just going to place that over. I need to grab my low tack tape, Joe. Wait a minute, I've got a couple of more pieces of low tack tape. There we go. And then just tape that down as well. Now we are cutting through 2 pieces of the cardstock here. But we've just seen it cut through 2 pieces of stamping card, which is a higher GSM, so this should be fine. I'm just trying to get it centralised, Joe. Bit difficult when you're a little bit of a short-legged person like myself to see over this end. There we go. Pop that on and then run that through again. So again, 2 pieces, 1 time. That'll cut ourselves 2 more frames, and that's the 3 largest frames done.
Awesome. Liz says, hello crafters, Joe and Debbie from a sunny Aberdeen. Feeling a little bit under the weather after a hospital visit yesterday. The shows today are cheering me up. Well done, guys. I'm glad we're cheering you up, Liz. I hope you feel better soon. Kathy loves the warm paper pads, and Monkey Head Bonkers on YouTube says, mine's a bit of a mess because I did not use the A4 cardstock, but we will see how it works out. Well, I look forward to seeing your finished product, Monkey Head Bonkers. I don't think that's their actual name.
It's a fabulous name, Monkey Head. Do you think she likes monkeys? Hey, we're
Maybe.
assuming it's a she, could be a man.
Could be a
so
him.
it could be a him. So yes.
They like monkeys, I imagine so.
Yes, exactly. Now look, that's cut through 2 pieces, absolutely fine. So now I've created, so it's almost speeding this process up a little bit, but I've got my 3 frames all ready to go, but I'm just going to leave them on top of each other so I know which way I'm doing this. There you go. So that's the outer part done. We're not going to be using that again now, but again, you've got these 3 pieces that you can be using for something else. Don't be throwing those away. They're really nice. You could actually, oh look, you could do a little bit of a nice little feature on back of a card for your background.
Funky triptych.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to be using a couple of them. We're going to be using them in later on in the demonstration there. So we've done the outer part. So I'm just going to move my outer dies. Keep them over there for a second because I don't need those. Get rid of my scrap. Pop that down to one side because I can use that later on. Now we're going to move on to the next die down. So the next size down, and we're going to choose a different shade now. So I'm going to move down in my shades. So now I'm going for that, you can see the dark pink and more of bubblegum pink, do you think? A bubblegum? I think we could get away with bubblegum.
Yeah, bubblegum.
Bubblegum, yeah, absolutely. Now on this, I know that on this strip, I'm going to be able to easily get 3 out of here. Okay?
Awesome.
So I'm just going to cut this down, and I'm going to, because I'm obviously trying to keep frugal with your cardstock. But I've got all that, then I can use at a later date for something else as well. So I'm going to push that to one side. And I'm going to speed it up a little bit more because I am going to cut through 2. Because we've just seen it do it, so we know we can get through 2 pieces at once. I think it might be a bit of a push for 3. If anybody wants to try it out there, you can absolutely, you can.
If you do try it, let me know.
Yeah, but I'm just going to go in with the 2. So I'll put my smaller piece on the top, and then I'm going to line this up again. And again, I'm just going to pop the outer frame and the inner frame in to create that beautiful frame. Of course, you could be using these differently as well, though. I love these, the fab. So
Aisha says these nesting dies don't produce any waste. Every single piece is beautiful, which is great. I agree.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And you could use the waste bits, for, like I said, for something else completely. It's just, you know, it's how you use them. I just think they're absolutely fabulous. And I love a versatile die, Joe. I'm all for one, you know, if something can create more than one thing. And we've got some lovely samples that we'll show you when we finish the craft along so that you can see the different ways that you can use them. Which is why I love these dies, and I know that you guys have been loving them just as much as we do. We've seen your lovely comments, which is always nice to see as well, Joe, it is.
Well, after we've got all the cutting done, we'll take another little break, won't we? Just in case anyone is worried about falling behind, Debbie. You don't need to be whatsoever. We're going to take another break after Debbie's shown you how to cut all the panels, so don't worry about that. And Debbie will recap it all for you too. So just nice to let everyone know, isn't it, Debbie, that we're taking a break soon.
It is. I tell you, I think we'll get this done practically near enough. I think we might be able to get this done within an hour and a half.
Do you?
Oh, I do, yeah, I do. Definitely. It's a real simple card. Once you get going, it's really very simple. And you've got all the tools that do all the job for you. So I've got my 2 pieces there. I just need one more of that one. And again, let's not throw this away. We could be using this again. So I'm going to just cut one more. Pop that on. Let me use my tape. I'm being a bit frugal with my tape now. So let's pop that on there.
Michelle Butler says she can't wait for the weekend so she can make this project. That's a good point actually, Debbie. I think it's about a 50-50 split. Some people like to craft along live with us. Some of our viewers and crafters love to watch it through first, Debbie. Yep. And then go back to the start and then craft it again afterwards. Absolutely. There's no right or wrong way to do it really, Debbie, is there?
No, not at all. Plus the fact is you've got these craft alongs permanently on our page. They're always there. So you can go back at any time if you've forgotten something, if you haven't written anything, you know, written anything down. You can go back at any time to craft along, which is why I love these shows. I mean, from having no craft alongs to having loads now under my belt, I absolutely love them. It's really nice. I love it. So now I've got my 3 pieces. So let's move this. I'm going to keep my spare bits over there. I'm going to take this die and move that to one side because I don't need that now and get rid of my spare bit. So what you'll end up with now is you'll have got your 2, you know, your large piece, your large frame, and then your next one. And then you'll have got that 3 times. So you should have 3 of those done. Either side of the easel card and then the centre one as well.
And as you're coming down a size, you're ascending down a colour tone as well,
I am
Debbie?
indeed, yes.
Okay.
I'm going down with a gradient of colour to create a nice effect as
Awesome.
well. So I'm going to, with that said, I'm going to move on to the next sheet for the next size die. And honestly, the longer that they go down, did you hear producer producer Georgina, now that's bubblegum, Debbie. Absolutely is. This is a beautiful pink. And again, lovely shade down, really lovely. And you can see again, from your 12 by 12, that what I love about a 12 by 12, snippability factor. I'm hardly using any of that paper for this one. So again, I'm just going to, and I'm just using my scissors, but you could go with your guillotine. But what about those scraps that you have? Do you have a bit box? Like, I know I'm not the only one with this. Do you have a bit box with lots of bits in? Scraps. This is going to be perfect. No,
not beatboxing.
No, not a beatboxing,
okay,
no.
Just check.
Not a beatboxing.
I'd love to see you beatbox though, Debbie.
Would you now then?
I reckon you could spit some bars. Apparently that's what the kids say.
Is that what they say?
Yeah.
Not you, Joe.
No, not me, Debbie.
Now with that next colour down, and you can see the contrast of the colours there quite visually, we're going to do exactly the same with the next size down. So we've started with the outer, moving down to the next one, until we go down. We're going to use all of the dies in this collection for this particular card. But I just think you could create this, not just with this style. What about all the others? What about all the others that you could do? What about doing them in ovals and circles? Absolutely, you're going to be able to do that as well. So let's just pop that down. And again, I'm using 2 pieces. I'm going to use the 2 pieces again. And then again, I'm just going to pop down my plates on top. And we're going to run that through. Debbie, you've got to get your plates flush. I'm trying to shove my plates in.
We had a brand new set of plates on cartload last night, Debbie, and I thought you might treat yourself to them.
No. Longevity.
You're not done yet?
I'm not done with them yet, no. The secret is the flipping reversing when you're doing your twisting, and not only that, making sure your plates are nice and flush, trying to get it in the machine. Oh, did I go off kilty there? Let's just see. Bit too busy talking, I might have gone off a little bit. Not going to worry too much though if I did, because I can always...
Adds character, Debbie. Character.
Well, I can always redo it, Joe. I can always redo it. But what we've got now is 2 smaller frames, and actually... I don't need to cut a third one, and I'll explain that in a moment. Let me just move those over to there. Because this centre panel, I'm not putting the next size down, we're just using those. So I don't need a third piece. Hang on to these though, we're going to be using those later. So again, that now is done. I'm not putting anything else in there because we're going to use one of the lovely sentiments from the mix and match sentiments that we've got on the show as well. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to move to the little bitty one, the little baby one of the family. And because we're going to be the baby one, we're going to go down another colour. So we're going to take the lighter shade for this one. And again, this is just, I mean, look how gorgeous this is. And look how much of the, I mean, look at this, Joe. 12 by 12. And I'm only using a little sliver.
Tiny bit.
Tiny bit. And I'm only wanting 2 of this. So I only need to cut a tiny bit. I absolutely love 12 by 12 paper pads for that reason. The amount that you can get out of them when you start to snip into them and snip down. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to separate that. And we're going to do exactly the same. We're going to cut through 2 pieces at the same time. And then we're going to pop that on. And repeat what we've done with the others. So
now,
if
you wanted to, Debbie, could you just cut them all in the one colour if you wanted to, or in the same
pattern
paper maybe?
Yeah.
There's no rules, is there, when it comes to colour?
There's no rules when it comes to colour, none at all. And what about mixing it with a strong colour and then a pattern colour? What about that? That'd look nice. I think that'd be really nice. What about mixing your colours up? Rainbow colours, Joe, like your shirt. What about changing it up and having beautiful, bright colours? You could use greens and blues and reds, and producer Jordan is saying, what about the colours of the rainbow? Absolutely. Nice. That would look sensational too. So with that said, we've done us 2 pieces. We've actually got another couple. I love the inner one. I think the inner one for me, I just think is beautiful. A little baby design there, but it looks so, when it's all out, it looks absolutely so effective. So we'll take that off gently. I've got 2 little ones there again that I'm going to be able to use. Throw away my waste. And then just separate the 2 pieces because I've got my 2 squares there. And they are going to be the ones that go in the centre there. So now you can see, not only have we got all the pieces cut, and you should have those pieces cut by now, we have got all of these bits that we can use for something else. And some of them we're going to actually incorporate as little toppers for the cards as well. Brilliant. Now, for this particular one in the middle that we've got here, I'm just going to go back to, now you can see that we've got this, it was the third die that we used. You're going to be able to use this to fit perfectly, and it's going to create the perfect one for your special friend that we're going to put in the middle, or whatever it is sentiment that you want to put in there. So I'm going to cut that out, and I am going to use, I'm going to use one of my spare off-cut pieces. I can get away with it, look at that. Looks like a postage stamp. So we're just going to pop on now a bit of tape just into there, and I'm going to use that piece to cut out that perfect square. And again, it's been frugal with your waste.
Was that the third biggest
That was
standard?
the third, yes. So the
the one from smallest?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it is only a square die, I'm not going to put as much pressure in, so I'm going to omit my magnetic shim. And let's hope that doesn't move. Pop that in there. I did stick it down with tape though, didn't I, Joe? Just reminding myself. Yes, I did. I think there's low tack tape on there, just to stop things from moving around. But you don't need as much pressure for that one, so that's why I've not popped in my magnetic shim for that. And then now what we've got is that, oh, look at that. Do you know, I could use that for something as well.
Yeah.
That looks really nice as
Does
well,
indeed.
doesn't it? So pop that there for a second though, because now I've got my perfect middle for my sentiments to go on. So that is all the die cutting that we are doing for now with that die. So, bit of housekeeping, I'm going to put everything back.
Awesome.
And then we'll start putting everything together.
Just to recap then, Debbie, with
Yep.
the largest frame you cut 3.
Yep,
With the second largest frame you also cut 3.
yep,
With the third largest frame you cut 2.
yep.
And with the smallest frame you also cut 2.
Bang on.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
And
Yep.
then you created a plain square with the one from smallest one as well.
Yes, and use the waist. Remember them lovely
And
waist?
use the waist, yeah.
Because it actually has given me a nice little frame to be able to use something else. So that could be
Brilliant.
used. Again, don't throw anything away, because you can use waste bits so easily.
Okay, awesome. So I think some people might just need a little second just to get caught up with the cutting. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go through some of the awesome paper pads we've got on the show. We're going to drop in on our fantastic guests as well. So I'm going to run through what we've got available to you on the show. It is the most limited of limited stock on the warm tones. If you want this, you will need to be super quick for it. It is absolutely gorgeous. Oh, those sexy reds, Debbie.
Oh, they're
so you've got
gorgeous.
those in there. That's your warm tones. We've also got neutral tones for you. Often I think people think neutral's not the most exciting. You'd be surprised how much you use it with all of the different shades of your greys, your blacks, and all of your whites in there as well. So you've got that one. I love this one. You've got the beautiful sunflower tones in here. 80% of the sunflower tones has gone warm terracottas through to yellows, through to gorgeous verdant, and then super dark, beautiful greens in there too. The next thing we have got is the pretty pastel. Now, I feel like Goldilocks, someone's definitely been in my, was it? No, it was the bears that had their porridge stolen, wasn't it? Someone's definitely been in this paper pad. So you've got your pretty pastels in here, which are absolutely beautiful. With this one, this is a really heavyweight one, 300 GSM there, and you are going to get 24 sheets in that one, which is awesome. Then I've got Everyday Brights. Now you get 50 sheets in here, which is brilliant. And this is, again, a nice weight, this one, 180, double-sided too. A real kapow of colour, that one. So you can go for that one. Then, the next one I've got. Now, these are the lovely lilacs. So these are the ones oh, Debbie, these are the pearlescent ones.
Oh my.
So, 250 GSM, double-sided.
Oh.
But pearly, look at that. Isn't it beautiful? So you've got all of your gorgeous lilacs and turquoises in there. In that one, 24 sheets coming to you there. The next one I've got is the orange sunset. And in here, again, I mean, it is just super delicious. Just check out.
Oh, I love that one.
It makes me want to eat an ice lolly, that one.
Yeah.
So you've got that one there, which is your orange sunset. Love this one, caramel and cream. Very, very grown up, this one too. Oh, no one's definitely been in this one, I can assure you. Do you remember when I first started here and I spent more time opening packaging live on air than I did actually selling products, Debbie? Do you remember? Every single day, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
If you didn't watch our shows from the start, it was just a lot of this, basically. A lot of me trying to get these stickers off. We got them. Don't you worry, I got you. So this one here is awesome. And again, I love the colours in this one. Look at how that is like the deepest, darkest, richest chocolate brown. It's beautiful. And this one of my all-time favourite plain colours. Debbie, look at that.
Navy
Isn't
is
the navy
insanely beautiful, that one.
So gorgeous, that navy. So do grab that. These we actually launched alongside the plains that I've just shared with you. So this one here, the Decadent Decor, this would go with the last one I showed you, which is called the Caramel and Cream. And I love this one because it's very grown up. It's got a bit of a really hip, cool 70s vibe going for it, Debbie. Still pearlescent. Look at that.
Oh my God, I love that one.
It's like one of Martin Parker's shirts.
Absolutely love that.
Beautiful, really lovely, gorgeous designs. Very refined, that one, I think. That goes with your caramel and cream. No, it's not back in stock.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
it's one of my favourite.
Giddy up. Right, I'm going to do this one first. Summer Sunset is gorgeous. Love the faux inky backgrounds there, especially with the pearl on them. They are just stunning. You're not going to believe what's back in stock, guys. Honestly, you're going to want to get close to your iPad right now. So that one's gorgeous, but boom, it's back in stock. It is the navy and blush. And oh my
Just look at them,
word.
Joe, honestly, they're absolutely beautiful. That pearlescent sheen running through all of them. Can you imagine doing this craft along with some of these? Alongside the plains as well. They were going to look absolutely fabulous, and they've got that beautiful shimmer all the way through. This is heightened luxury at its best.
It's the height of luxury. This is getting on the plane and turning left, Debbie, is what it is. It is that luxury, honestly. So do grab those. Very, very low, though, on the warm tones. If you've got your eye on that, if it's in your basket, you actually need to get yourself checked out. Right, should we go and drop in with our crafty friends that we've got joining us on the show today? Let's go, firstly, and have a little bit of a chat with the lovely Pamela. Oh, let's go to Emma first in that case. Having a few technical difficulties. Hi, Emma, how's it going?
Hi, yeah, I've managed to get everything cut out, so...
Fantastic. Which is the best bit, isn't it? You're following along all the instructions clearly so far?
Yeah, it's just took me a while because I've only got a junior, so I've had to do it one at a time rather than... I tried 2 layers, it wasn't quite up to it, so...
Oh, well, at least you got there now, Emma, which is awesome. Emma, I know we've spoke before, haven't we, on one of our shows? You were one of our lovely guests before. Sorry?
We have spoke before, yeah.
We have indeed, yes. But for anyone that doesn't know you, how did you get started with crafting? What was your sort of your gateway craft, if you will?
Oh, Mum always made things with myself and my sister when we were children. And then I kind of got put off it because my art teacher at school didn't appreciate my work.
How rude.
Yes, but when my sister was at school, she, for still life drawing, my sister had watched me and she took her work in and her art teacher absolutely loved it. So my sister has gone that way, doing art and making clothes and things. But I've always still dabbled and then mostly done crafting with brownies for 10 years more.
Right.
But then last year, I got put into shielding.
Okay.
And my dear sister told me about Crafters TV, and that's it. I've just been a year of crafting.
Oh, we've been hooked. We've spent it together. I think we've got you through. You've got us through as much as we've got you through, Emma. Honestly, I can't imagine if I'd have not been here at Crafters TV. It's been awesome. Right, I'm glad you're keeping up and it's all going well. I'll come and drop into you very shortly again, if that's all right.
No problem.
Brilliant. We've also got Pamela on the line too. Pamela, how is it going? How are you keeping up?
Oh, I'm doing fine, Joe. I've got all my cutting done. I think I'm up to date on everything.
Oh, absolutely excellent. Tickety-boo, that's what I like to hear. I'm going to ask you the same question, Pamela. What got you into crafting? What was it got you started?
I think I've been crafting since I was a baby. It's just inborn in me. And I got into ceramics later in my life. And then when I moved to this community that I live in now, it's an active over 55 community. I got into card making. And I am now teaching card making in this community. It's Sun City Hilton Head. and I have about 50 students that I totally enjoy, and it is just so much fun. I am totally addicted to card making now.
Well, it sounds amazing. I want to come, and I feel like I want to come. What was the name of the community again, Pamela?
It is Sun City Hilton Head.
Sun City Hilton Head. Can me and Debbie, if me and Debbie come to the States, can we drop in on one of your crafts?
Requested that maybe Leanne can type the names of the paper pads on the spine, because I'm labeling them all now, and it's taking a long time.
I can imagine with all of those. Yes, I will see Leanne over the weekend. I shall ask her and let her know. Right, sounds like we're going to have a paper pad off at some point, Pamela. I'm glad you're keeping up. I'm going to drop into you again really, really soon, Pamela, okay? Great,
thank you.
Brilliant. Right, gosh. I'm so glad that everyone is keeping up. Monkey Head Bonkers letting me know that they've caught up as well. Just going through this. Yeah, I think everyone is good to go. Are you ready for the next step, Debbie, in that case?
Yeah, because it's just constructing it together now, and this is when you can get a bit fun and funky. Now you can do it the way that I've done it, or you can actually have a little bit of a play around and a change with this as well. So you've got your 3 square blacks. So I've just popped mine all here. So this is what you'll end up looking like. You've got your 3 white background squares. Let me just push this to one side so you can see them just for a second. Then you've got your 3 large outer frames, and I've just put them all ready, but we're going to work on one at a time. So I'll move those 2 out of the way to start with. But this is when you're going to have a little bit of fun now, because we're going to start to build this up, and you can create a little bit of height and dimension as well to create that inverted feel even more by adding things. So you could use 3D collage glue, or you could use foam on a roll to create a nice little, where have I put my foam on a roll? Foam on a roll or foam pads. It's entirely up to you what you use. Foam sheets are another good one, because you can actually cut them to size as well. You can take your scissors and get really down if you've got a foam sheet. But for this particular part, what I'm going to start with is we're going to take our largest square and we're going to lift this up. So I am going to use, for this one, I am going to use our 3D collage glue. Now, if you are using 3D collage glue, it doesn't dry instantly. It gives you the wiggle time, but it doesn't dry instantly. So you do need to allow this to dry. However, it shouldn't cause too much of a problem when we're doing this, and I'll explain a little bit more in a moment. So when Debbie, get your fingers out of glue. So just popping this on, and this gives it that little bit of dimension. It's one of my favourite glues. If you know me, you'll know that I use this ever such a lot. My affectionate name is Chunky Glue. I love this glue. Again, it's got that wiggle time to be able to get it into place as well, because it doesn't dry instantly, but it does give you the lift and it gives you that bit of dimension. So if I just turn that just for a second, you can see that you've got that height there that you get from a foam pad as well. But the lovely thing about this is that you've got that wiggle time. A foam pad's not so forgiving. Foam pads are quite...
You like a wiggle, don't you, Debbie?
I do like a wiggle. I like a little wiggle on, absolutely. So that's going to be the first panel. Then we're going to go down to the next one. This is when you can have a little bit of fun though, because I've laid mine all flat, but you can actually twist. You can do a little bit of a twist if you want to have a little bit of an extra feature. And by that, I mean, you could twist that one there, you could then go in square, and you can really start to build this up. So I'll just lay that down by what I mean by having a play with these. And again, that again just looks absolutely fab. Personally, for this one, I'm going to keep them all nice and straight. And again, I'm going to lift up a bit of dimension. Now, you could do a double layer to really bring this one to the forefront and then flatten these in so that it almost has that inverted feel to it. And by that, I mean, you know that where it's like almost looking into a tunnel, isn't it, George? You know what I mean by that?
I do indeed, yeah.
Fabulous, yeah. So again, let's just pop some glue all the way around. And again, I'm using 3D collage glue, but this is entirely up to you. If you want to use foam pads, absolutely do. Foam on a roll will fit nicely, just neatly behind that larger one. You'd probably have to cut it down, and it probably would get a little bit messy, but it's entirely up to you. And again, because it's wet glue, it means I can take my pokey tool and I can get this into place. I can wriggle it until I'm happy that it's central in there. There we go. So again, that's that one done. And then we're going to do exactly the same with the others as well. So again, I'm taking the next size down. And again, like I said, even now, even though we've got those 2 square, if you wanted to, you could absolutely start to play around and have a bit of an extra depth and dimension. It's entirely up to you. That's why I love these craft alongs. It's your interpretation. You've done all the die cutting. It's entirely up to you whether or not you put these on. Let me just get rid of that little bit of excess glue. And again, just pushing, using my poker tool, push that down and make sure I've got that nice and straight. Now, my last one, I'm going to go in there again. If you wanted, just little twills. You can have a little play on it. It's entirely up to you. But these are fabulous dies, versatile dies, many uses, many different ways that you're going to be able to use these. And again, just pop that into the centre. It's got that bit of height and dimension again. Love that. And then lastly, do you know when I talked about that waist? Do you remember the waist that we had from that little small one? I'm actually going to use this. And I'm going to pop this, quite a big piece of glue on there, and I'm going to turn that, oops, move that across, Debbie, move that across. Let's just go across to the centre and press that down. There we go, let's get that. Always forgiving.
Everyone's
chunky glue.
Poised, Debbie.
Sorry.
Everyone's watching your every move.
It's just because I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, but that's going to add as my little pen. And I just quite like that, just by tilting it to get that little diamond shape. Now you're going to repeat that with the other one as well. So all you're going to keep doing is repeating. So we'll go through that, Joe, as well. Let this start to dry off. Make sure if you haven't got it in place, if you have used wet glue, it means that you can get that into place. And also if you've got bits that are, you know, slopping out at the sides, so to speak, you can take it off. A little bit of seepage going off there, Joe, but nothing that can't be remedied. And again, I'm just going to move those to one side, starting with that outer part. Bit easier when you're doing it from the outer inwards. It's a little bit trickier to do it the other way around. And again, I'm just going to repeat. So that's all we keep doing.
Could you, if you wanted to, just stick it flat with a tape pen,
yes,
Debbie? If
absolutely.
you wanted to make it super simple for yourself.
Yeah, if you want to make it easier on yourself and you don't like getting the idea of using a wet glue and getting a bit messy, absolutely. Take your tape pens. Dotty tape pen, perfect for this. If you use the straight edge one, you're probably going to get a little bit, again, stuck up with that one. So dotty tape pen would probably be better for that one. And again, all I'm doing is I'm making sure, and you can pick this up and just have a little play, make sure I've got all my sides stuck down, got that into place. Make sure it's nice and neat. There we go. And just carry on doing that with these frames.
Awesome. Everyone seems to be keeping up according to the, what am I looking at? Comments, Debbie, that's what I'm looking at. It's rubbing off on me now, isn't it? Everyone seems to be catching up. But as I say always as we go through these shows, then if there's anything you're not getting, anything you need to be recapped, then absolutely you can. And you can ask me and I'll do that for you. Crafters TV on Facebook, Crafters Companion on YouTube. Make sure you've subscribed if you are watching there. Also make sure when we all finish this craft along together that you send me a picture. And you can do that really simply by emailing studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk. Then we'll be able to share them all at the end, which is absolutely awesome. So please make sure you do that. But I like this, Debbie. It's quite a nice, you know, it's a nice sort of methodical one, this craft along, isn't it?
It is, it is. And I mean, like I said, the dies, there's so many ways that you can use them. This is just one way of many ways that you can, you know, you can use these dies. They're absolutely fabulous. So again, I'm just going to pop on. Let's pop this down. There we go. I'm starting with, this is now going to be my little one. Popping that in. And then I'm just going to finish off with a globule at the back. Again, foam pad I'd lift it off. But all I'm going to do with this one is turn that to the diamond part. Then just push that there. And then again, because it's wet, I have got that ability to be able to manoeuvre it into place. If you're not quite happy, and I always do things by eye, Joe, so I have to lift them up and have a look at them just to make sure that I've got them all nice and central. Because there's nothing worse than having a wonky nesting die there. So I'm going to keep doing that, Joe, and then before we move on to the next bit, because we're going to start with the small at the middle section, but you'll end up with two that look identical to each other. These are what's going to sit on the outside frame of your easel card. So I am now going to put those to one side.
Well, I'll tell you what, then that might be a nice point, Debbie, just to take a short pause, if that's all right.
Absolutely.
Really for you. We're not going to take long, we'll just take a small break. I know some of you may be find the chunky glue and the frames a little bit fiddly. So what we'll do is take a very short break. Whilst we do that, we will share with you all the details on how you can watch the shop at the same time. Hi, I'm Joe from Crafters TV, and I'm here to show you how you can grab the best deals and shop whilst you watch during our shows. So the best way to watch us is always on Crafters TV. Head on over to our homepage and go to Crafters TV. You can see all of our shows, offers, and even shop while you watch. Now if you want to get involved and comment along, head over to our Facebook page. Come say hello, ask us some questions, and look. Hi, I'm Joe from Crafters TV, and I'm here to show you how you can grab the best deals and shop whilst you watch during our shows. So the best way to watch us is always on Crafters TV. Head on over to our homepage and go to Crafters TV. You can see all of our shows, offers, and even shop while you watch. Now if you want to get involved and comment along, head over to our Facebook page. Come say hello, ask us some questions, and lol with us. Or you can watch us on YouTube. Simply head to our Crafters Companion YouTube channel. Got a smart TV? You can even AirPlay directly onto your big screen. We're constantly adding new and exciting shows to our schedule, so don't forget to check in. It's never been easier to have us in your living room. It's always fun here at Crafters TV, so come join us as we create every day. We do create every single day. We create fabulous things with fabulous people, which is always absolutely awesome. If you have just joined us midway through, you're thinking, what on earth is going on here? It's a craft along. We're all crafting along together. We've got special guests on via Skype. We've got Debbie in the studio. In fact, Debbie, why don't you just re-share with us what we are working towards in this show?
We're working towards our triple easel. We're nearly there, Joe. We're nearly there. We've just got a few finishing touches to do, a couple of extra bits of cutting to do with some of our cardstock and some stamping too, because we're nearly done. We're doing all the hard work. We're on to our third panel that we're going to be working on, but this is where we're at. And again, it's a beautiful card that you can make with ease using these inverted nesting dies. This one is the scalloped inverted stitched scallop square. Wow, that's a mouthful. But again, using those warm tone paper pads, but you've seen the beautiful paper pads that we've got on the show. You could be doing this style of card with ease with any papers that match, maybe not match, have something a bit bold and beautiful, but I'm taking you through the process, Joe. So we're nearly there, we're nearly done.
Are we? Are we done?
Oh gosh, yeah, we'll definitely, I tell you, we'll definitely be all done for these 2 hours, absolutely.
I think everyone is keeping up, Debbie, so if you want to press on with the next element, I think we're pretty much good to go.
Absolutely, so we'll move on to that middle square then, Joe. So with that, now I've just seen, I've got a little bit of, do you know, from the tape, I've got a little bit of goose. Do you know, sometimes with the Gemini, it leaves a bit of a tape residue behind.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean by that? So I'm just going to get rid of that because I'm not quite happy with that one. I need to make sure that that's all gone. Plus I've got inky fingers going off from earlier, so really should have cleaned the hands before I started this one. However,
you're not very inky today, though, I must say. You're all right.
Well, we've got a
show
later, absolutely. So what we've got now, if you remember, the middle panel doesn't have all the detail that these two do. There, I'm just leaving those to dry. So we've got the outer frame, the inner frame, and then again that middle piece, which again, you can have a little play on these frames. If you wanted something a little bit different, maybe stand out a little bit more, you could keep that one straight. Let's just pop that there just for a second. And then you could twist that one and have a nice little twist. So this one really would make a nice little addition to it. It's entirely up to you how you do this. Now, again, I'm going to use 3D Collal glue. If you love your foam pads, by all means, use a foam pad. I do prefer 3D Collal glue. Once it's dry, it's really, you know, it dries rock solid. It's a fabulous, it gives you that lift of the, you know, for decoupage feel and things like that, which is why it works so beautifully with these inverted nested dies. But again, I'm just going to place that in. And again, I'm just going to use my poker tool. Where's my poker tool gone? Just put my poker tool just to get that into place.
just to let anyone know if they have the scalloped collection in their basket, Debbie, it is your final call. If it's in your basket, you need to check it out. Also remember that if you're going for the scallop collection right now, you will be able to come back and watch this at any point as well. It will live forever on our website. If you are joining us midway through as well, we gave you all the shopping lists at the end. We'll recap it as well and give you everything that you need. So if you are just joining us, you can either scooch back to the start, or you can stay here, wait to see it finish, and then we'll give it to you all again as well. So, and it will live forever on our website, which is awesome, or wherever you're watching it, on Facebook, or of course across on YouTube too. I tell you what though, Debbie, I am excited to see everyone else's finished makes, aren't you?
I hope people do share, because I want to see people's take on this, and somebody might have used a different set of nesting dies of this one. They might have used something completely different. It'd be lovely to see your take, so do share your pictures with us. Now, I'm just pushing that into place, Joe. I'm using my poker tool again, because it's wet glue and it hasn't dried straight away. I am using my poker tool. I have had a lot of comments about my poker tool. Can I just tell you, this was purposely made. I had this specially made. It's not something you can buy anywhere. I had that.
Your poker tool matches my pen, doesn't
yes,
it?
I'll
show you that later.
Yeah, so this isn't available anywhere. It's just my own personal poker tool that I had custom made. So I have seen loads of comments coming up about it. I just want to assure you, it's not something we sell here. I haven't bought it from any other company. It is something I've had custom made for myself. So sorry. It's just something I absolutely love, and I love the feel of it as well, which is why I do use it a lot. However, there's nothing wrong with our poker tools that we do here at Crafter's Companion. Now, I'm going to leave that for now, because I've got my two panels. The middle panel that we talked about when we die cut that one, this is where we're going to use the stamp onto this one. So this is going to have our stamped sentiments in there. So I'm just going to push all my panels to one side, let them dry for a little bit. And I'm also showing you, the two wastes that we had. We had all this, and I said this waste. This is not waste. We had all these panels that we cut out from the middles of each of them. Can save these. I've actually used the third size down one. So the one that came from this particular one, I'm going to use these as our stoppers for our easel. So I'm just going to pop on the back, and I'm going to use foam pads for this, Joe. So I'm going to bring in my foam pads, and I'm going to pop a foam pad under each one. So let's just get that across there. And that's going to be my foam pads that we'll be using for our stopper when we get to that stage. So I'm just getting those ahead ready. Let's put that to one side. So now we've got our two toppers as stoppers as well. So I'm going to put those to one side. What I'm going to do is, though, we have, and I'm just going to find mine. Let me just bring these in for a second. We've got all these mix and match sentiments, which means you can personalise these cards to your heart's content. I'm going to be using the happy birthday, and I'm also going to be using the special friend. What I love about these mix and match sentiments is not only the size, you've got various different sizes, you've got various different fonts, so you've got a gorgeous, love this one, quirky font there. But the fact that you can mix and match, and someone's been just, let me just pop that under there for a second, because I don't know where that's come from. I think that might be off me happy. Let me see. Oh, someone's been playing with these. Let me just pop that there for a second.
Someone's been in your stash.
Someone's having a little play. But you can mix and match them. So you've got special in this font that you could actually add with this font. It's that mix and match element, which means you'll never, there's two of them that are solid ones that you can't split down unless you do your masking techniques, which again, you get easy done. But you can really just mix up the fonts however you want to do that. And the same with the happy birthday. So you've got a nice solid happy birthday there, but then you've got the rest that are in different fonts, and you can see the ones that are well loved because someone's just literally plonk them down. Let's pop that back in its right place. I love them as well because they come on these tabbed, what's the word? Tabbed
acrylic carriers.
Thank you, yes, that can go directly straight into our, yeah, absolutely perfect. So I do like that idea that you can pop those onto there and slip them in, so you've got a nice little carry case. So with that said, I'm going to use Special Friend, and I'm going to use this special here.
Gosh, you get all of them for that price. Hang on.
Oh yeah, you get more than, yeah, you get loads.
I've never seen them at that price.
And it's not just these two,
no,
there's other ones in there as well.
7 collections,
yeah,
$41.97 or $47.46. You get all of these.
You
Look at
do.
them. Aren't they awesome?
They are.
Did you like
awesome.
that Generation Game style handle?
I did like that, Joe. I did like that. So I'm just use the Special Friend first. Now I'm going to bring in stamping mats, stamping platform, and said piece of cardstock. This is how I do it when I'm at home, and I'll just share with you how I just line it up.
How big that piece of card is that you're about to stamp there, Debbie?
This one, it is from that, do you know the dies again? Going back to the dies, this is the 3rd size down outer frame die.
Awesome. And how big is that?
So I'll give you the measurements.
Thank
this
you.
one is 2 1/4 inches square.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And some of these will fit absolutely perfect on there. So with that said, I'm going to pop my special there. I'm going to put my friend right way around, Debs, right way around. And I'm just going to line it up onto my cardstock, ready ahead for where I want it. I find this the easier way to do this when I'm lining up into a specific way. So I'm quite happy with that. Actually, I'm just going to have to go over a little bit just for a second, head over there, because I am a little bit shorter than this counter. This counter's quite a nice large size counter for the taller ladies and gentlemen on the team. Not for us little shorty bums. Right, so I'm now lined up, and I'm just going to pop this down just to pick up that stamp. And then I'm going to bring in, now I did hear that our lovely craft guest who was on the show said that she hadn't got any of the embossing things, because I am using a jet black opaque pigment ink with some clear embossing powder to give it an enamelled finish. Don't need to worry about that bit. You can just stamp this with any colour of ink and just use them as a sentiment. It doesn't have to necessarily be this heat embossing technique, which Debbie's just realised gun hasn't been plugged in. So I'll sort that out in a minute. But I'm going to use my little finger dabber. Is that the right word? Finger dabber.
I think so.
Because it's a sentiment, I could take my ink pad and go straight directly over it, but I'm going to use my ink dabber and go over the word itself. It just means I can get right into those nooks and crannies really quite nicely as well. There we go. So I'm going to carry on doing that. Again though, you can just lightly dab over the top if you want to, but I quite like the idea of using our finger dabbers, which again I think they're available on the website.
They are indeed.
Just go and have a little look across there. So I'm quite happy with that. So I've got my special and my friend. Need to make sure I've got my clear embossing powder. Right, so let's make sure all covered. Yeah, quite happy with that. But like I said, you can use any inks for this, Joe. It doesn't necessarily have to be a heat emboss technique. It's just one that I did for this particular craft along. So again, I'm going to press that down. So I'm just making sure I'm over that edge. That looks about middle, doesn't it, Joe? It looks about the middle. Going down, I'm committing now, so I can't get away with it. I've got to use that now. And again, just lift that off. And then you've got that lovely special friend.
Oh, I love it.
Already on there. I'm going to bring in some, let me bring in some paper for this particular part. I'm going to pop that underneath and then just throw some clear embossing powder.
You're throwing and chucking and...
and shoving and everything else.
Throwing, chucking.
I am.
Slopping.
I am indeed. Guess what Debbie forgot to do though? She forgot to run her anti-static bag over the top. Dear me. You'd think I'd been crafting long enough to know that I needed to do that, because now I've got...
It's very static in the studio at the moment, you know.
It is, and I've
noticed... I don't know
what's
happening.
I have noticed.
I did some filming today, and my shirt, every time my microphone touched it, went absolutely bonkers. And I've noticed a few people over the last day are saying how they're getting very static. Something's happened, something has changed. Maybe it's the weather, who knows?
It could well be.
Let's rub each other down with dryer sheets and hope we're fine.
That's it, because you can't you? You can use your tumble dryer sheets for this one. Now then, heat's gone. Am I plugged in? Let me just check. No, I'm not. So I'm just gonna plug myself in for a second, Joe. Just bear with me. Let me go down here. Ooh. Right, all plugged in. Perhaps I should have checked these things before we started. But I'm going to get my heat gun all ready now. I'm going to heat set this. So you could use a pair of tweezers with this to hold it into place. So let me grab my tweezers. There we go. And I'm going to now just heat set that without actually burning myself there. So, and this is a lovely, I just love embossing on a sentiment. I think it gives a real nice, crisp, and it really does make it lovely. I mean, that looks beautiful. And I could, if I wanted, I could carry on doing that and doing that double embossing and triple embossing. But I'm quite happy with that. And that looks really, really nice there. So again, that's my special friend done. So Might as well get the other bit of stamping done, haven't we, Joe, while we're
Yeah,
at
while
it?
we're on a bit of a stamping roll.
Absolutely. So I'm going to clean this up for a second, Joe, and then I'm going to get my other one just ready.
Eleanor says, I'm really enjoying myself watching this show, as I can tell everyone is too, because we're all just paying close attention, because the comments are not coming in like crazy, like they normally are. Everyone is watching. Whilst Debbie just gets cleaned up and you just have a little bit of a catch up, let me take you through the entire Mix and Match collection and share with you what you're getting in there. If you are new to stamping, you want an amazing mixed bag of sentiments that are also to some degree interchangeable, this is definitely them. And I love that it's got 7 of the broadest sort of themes covered off for you. So you've got thank you, you've also got good luck, special friend, thinking of you, just for you, happy birthday, and also happy anniversary. I mean, that is pretty much most of the sentiments you're going to need taken care of. I launched these, I remember launching these stamps, they were nowhere near this price, I can assure you. It is a knock your socks off deal, and you also need to think, Platinum members with the 25% discount, remember everyone in the club, this weekend up until the end of Sunday is getting an extra 5% off. Platinum members, £31.48 or $35.60 today. £31 to get all of those. Honestly, with the money you're saving on that, make sure you pick yourself up one of the smaller binders as well whilst we're there. I'm just going to recap the dies that are on the show as well, because it's the final call on the scallop collection. It is 97% of the stock gone right now. So here you have the stitched, the scallop square, the scallop circle, the scallop oval, and also the scallop rectangle there for you. We also have it in the zigzag too. Not so urgent on the stock on the zigzag, but it is available. You've got the circle, you also have the rectangle, the square, and you've got the oval in there as well. Don't miss out. If the scallop's in your basket, you really need to check it out. Vicky is asking, what is an anti-static bag, Debbie?
Ooh, I've got one. So I've got mine here. Just bear with me while I grab it out of my bag. I have to hold mine tight because I've got a bit of a hole in it.
Oh dear.
So it's because I stuck my pokey tool in there and completely forgot that this is a bag. So it's got a bit of a hole in it. So I'm going to hold it tight. This is an anti-static bag. And it's what you just use to rub over before you do any kind of embossing. You just use your anti-static bag over the top of your cardstock. So for this one, I'll just show you. You just take it across there. And that means now none of that static, none of the particles of the embossing powder go anywhere. It stays where it should, which is just on that stamped image. With
Brilliant.
that said, shall we do the next bit of stamping?
I think we're ready if you are, Debbie.
Well, I am, but I just need to cut my cardstock. Do you know all those waste bits that we had?
Lovely.
From previous? I've just chosen one of them to stamp onto. And again, in fact, let me just, because I've got quite a few nice colours here. Let's have a look. Take one of these bigger ones first. I'm going to go with deeper one. I'm going to use my, now then. We've had lots of people playing in here and I've lost my small guillotine, so I'm going to use my large guillotine for this. For that happy birthday that I'm going to use, and I've chosen the solid happy birthday this time, I want to cut myself a piece for this that'll fit nicely, which is at 2 inches by 3.5 inches. So I'm just going to trim myself down a 2-inch panel by 3.5 inches on my guillotine. And I'll just move that to one side for a second.
Well, just a lot of new viewers join us, Debbie. For anyone that's joining us, it is a craft along. I'll share with you soon all the stuff you need to do it, but you can go back to the start and watch it at any point because Debbie is doing a fabulous triple easel card. Triple easel was the birthday card that you gave me for my birthday, wasn't it, Debbie?
It was indeed. I like a triple easel card. I quite like the style of that. Now, we've got this happy birthday, which fits perfectly over our sentiment. So I'm going to take that down now. Now, again, I'm going to use textured cardstock for this. I'm going to place that down into place, and it's just so I can get positioned, ready to use, using my crosshair there as a little guide as well. But before I do this now, I'm going to use this piece with my anti-static bag, ready to stamp on. Now I'm going to use the opaque pigment ink pad again, which means it's got a longer drying time, which means you can add things like your clear embossing powders to it, or your glitter embossing powders. I mean, oh, Joe, bit of glitter in there. Now we're talking. Ooh, producer Georgina, sparkle pens. Yep, absolutely. You could go
You'll
over
be
with your
seeing
sparkle
those a little
pen.
later today, won't
Your
we,
clear
Debbie?
over. Oh yeah, we are. Can't wait for the show. Can't wait. It'll be so much fun. My favourite. Bit of colouring. Lots of ink pads, tri-blends. I'm trying to think of everything else, Joe. What else is on that show?
Classics.
Classic. Oh my days. We've got
Illustrators.
loads. We've
Oh, it's
got
all there.
loads. Oh, it's going to be marvellous. It's going to be marvellous. So again, I'm going to bring back in this piece now. And then what we're going to do is we're going to stamp over. I'm just going to make sure I've got that nice and central. Stamp that down and give it a good pressure, push down, sorry. You've got spring-loaded feet on your platform, and I've also got my resist mat underneath, which helps absorb that pressure when you are using stamps. So again, just flick that off there for a second, and then I'm going to go on with my clear embossing powder. What happened to my scrap piece of paper, Joe? Let's just grab that for a second. And while it's still wet, so to speak, a bit sticky, a bit like a sticky ink, I'm just going to pop on my clear overlay. That's producer Georgina, that we're talking about them sparkle pens. But now can you see, I'm not having to use my brush on this part because the anti-static bag has made it just stick to the sentiment and not anywhere else on the card. It says Debbie dropping it. So let's just move that to one side. Going to grab my tweezers again. Let's just pop that on. There we are. And then I'm just going to grab my heat gun. Let me just move that little piece. Debbie's saying that she hasn't popped any on there, but guess what? Little sticky fingers. I've got a tiny bit just on the top. Heat gun again, and we're going to heat set this now. And again, oh, sorry, Joe.
No, sorry, with regards to the size of the cardstock, you're just kind of making it to the size of your sentiment, really, aren't you, Debbie? So if you just want something that your sentiment's going to fit snugly on. There's a few people asking about sizes and stuff for sentiments. Just something really that will accommodate your sentiment nicely will do.
I did with this one. The reason I chose that particular size was because I think it complements that size of that stamp and gives it a little bit of space. And again, it depends on how much you want to have round a border. I mean, I'm just quite happy with having this. You do work it out, and that's why I chose that particular size, because I thought that happy birthday stamp looked absolutely perfect in the middle of that. Now,
does indeed.
This is going to act as a stopper as well. So before I pop my ink pads on this, I'm going to take these 2 sentiments, and I'm just going to give it a little touch with a bit of a distress feel to it. Now, I've chosen fuchsia for this, only because it's a strong pink, because I've got 2 quite strong pinks there. And it's just literally to gems don't need to go in there, Debs. Just take your distressing tool and literally it just gives it a little bit of a lift off around the edges and a little bit of dimension. You could go in with a really deep colour if you wanted, but it just takes off that starkness without the need of doing any matting and layering. Sometimes, you can get away with just inking round the edges of your cardstock to literally lift that slightly, and it's just a gentle lift. It's not in your face or anything like that. It's just a nice little gentle lift, and it just adds a nice little detail. But like I said, you could go in with a stronger colour if you wanted. So I could have chosen, what else is in the pink family? Plum jam. Plum jam would be a nice strong one. That'll work with these. The pink tulip, too light.
Nice.
I think it wouldn't actually do anything. So, but you can use any pinks, any of the pinks, depending on the colour pad actually, to be fair, of what you've chosen. If you could actually use a bit of black around the outside if you wanted, gives it a little bit of a more drama appeal. So you could use a bit of your water reactive black to create a nice little feel. So I'm quite happy with that, quite happy with them. So with that said, I'm just going to wipe up this part. Let's pop this on here. Clean up my mats because I don't want any inky bottoms there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use some foam pads again. You could use 3D Collal glue if you wanted. I'm going to use some foam pads just to pop this on the back, because these are going to act. This is going to act as a topper, and this is going to go on the middle part of my card. So I'm going to pop a couple of pieces onto there. Right, so what we're going to do now is bringing back in the square piece. I've got my special friend already. Why have I trapped a piece under there? Dear me, Debbie, come on. There we go. Pop that on, and that now is going to sit in the centre of my piece. So that's my special friend, sat there nice and neatly. So push that to one side, and then what we're going to do is we're going to now bring in our main base. Do you remember where we first started?
Yep.
we've got our main base to stick all our panels onto. So let me just chuck that bit in the bin, move these bits out to one side. So bringing in your main base card is where we started the craft along. This is now ready to put together. However, we want a little bit of a panel just to go on the bottom part. So if you just hold that there for a second, because it's very stark at the moment in white. So go back to one of your chosen pinks, and any of those pinks that you used for these particular bits will work fine. You can go pale, you can go, let's just, because we've got all these to choose from. Doesn't matter which one, everyone will look nice. Because I am using these as a topper, and can you see I've just got, in fact, can we do it over the camera just so you can see it? I'm going to choose a darker one this time. I'm going to bring in a dark one. So I'm going to go in with this one. So if I just move this to one side, bring back in your large guillotine, and I'll give you the measurement that will fit perfectly on your base of your base card. So I'm going to use this one here. Now this is going to measure at, and we're going to have to extend it because we're on our larger guillotine here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a strip at 3 3/4. When you're using your guillotine, I've often said this, and it's just to reiterate this, when you want that straight, beautiful straight cut, make sure you flush up at the top, so it's pushed right up to the very top, keeping it in mind of which size you're doing. I'm going with 3 3/4, so 3 inches and 3/4, it's the next increment down from the 4 inches. I'm going to hold my finger guard with my fingers, and a nice, I love that sound. That sounds so satisfying. And then I'm going to measure this to fit in. We're going to have this at 11.5 inches. So you take up to that 11.5, and on an extended leg, I'll just push it across so you can see it. You don't have the whole of that board. So again, it's very important you keep this bit flush to the very top. It enables you to get that straight cut. You can see there's no gaps anywhere on there. Take it to that 11.5 inches, hold your guard into place, and snip off that little edge there. If you wanted, you could absolutely do a nice little bit of distressing around the edge. However, I'm quite happy with what I've got. But now what you'll find is that that fits absolutely beautiful on that bottom base. I'm going to use wet glue for this, Joe, because it's quite a large piece of cardstock. So I'm going to actually just use some all-purpose glue for this. And sometimes, we often tell people, don't go too mad with the glue. I think you did that on the last craft along we did, didn't we, Joe? Where you had a lot of...
I was finding it for days, Debbie. I
know, where you had a bit of glue seepage coming out.
A little bit of seepage.
A little bit of seepage. The trick there is just to make sure that you don't use a lot of glue. However, you will know that when you use all-purpose glue, if you do get some seepage, little finger rub takes it all off, and again, really, really easy. But now you can see all that's ready to go. So let's go back to those panels and pop this all together. I'm going to start with the middle panel. So I'm going to, and you can tuck these to one side for the time being, just to make it a bit easier on yourself. What I'm going to do is, I am going to just put my glue onto here. So either tape pen again, red liner tape, or your all-purpose glue. All-purpose glue means you've got that wiggle time again, but you do need to let it dry because it takes a few minutes to dry off there. So I'm going to just stick this down. I'm going to use this tape pen for this, Joe. So I'm going to pop my tape pen just on the bottom half of the flap. And I prefer to do it on those pieces rather than trying to guess where it goes on the back. It makes it that little bit easier. And then I'm just going to line that up, and you'll find that your panel will sit there nice and neatly.
So now, will your top layer be dry enough now to smush it down, or do you still need to be careful with that?
You just need to be careful if you've used chunky glue, because it's still, it does take a while to dry, I'm not going to lie, but I like the technique that it gives you, that lovely raised element without, you know, without the use of foam pads. So I just literally put my fingers behind there and just give it a little rub. And that's all I do.
And what would you let that dry for sort of 24 hours and then give it a good burnish down afterwards?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to push that down for a time being and just place that on. So I've got that middle flap done. And then I'm going to work on this one. So I'm going to, do you know what I've done? Joe, I've put the wrong panel on. I'm surprised nobody's screaming at me. Debbie, you've put the wrong one on.
What you like.
I know, it's my special friend.
Oh, Debbie. Imagine if everyone at home's put the wrong panel on there.
Well, I apologise now. Let me just tell you, these two are the outer parts. Debbie.
What you like.
What am I like? It's a good job I didn't put a lot of pressure on there, Joe. Good job I didn't put... And
you were just making sure everyone was paying attention, weren't you?
Well, do you know what? If you've used red liner tape, I'm just going to apologise now. You'll have a different star card. You can't get red it's like super glue, that stuff. When you put your red liner tape down, I've got a bit of a leeway part there. So I'm just going to bring in... Can we cut that bit out?
Yes.
Do you think anybody will notice?
No.
We're putting the special friend in the middle.
Brilliant.
I don't know why I'm whispering. So I'm just going to press that down. Actually, I can get away with pressing on the middle because I've got my foam pad in the middle. I'm not squishing anything down there. It's almost like I planned it. Right, going back to the first easel on the outer part. And this is what I always say with these. Pop your glue on this bottom triangle. So if you are using, and I'm just going to say that so you can see when it twists into there. If you put your glue on the wrong bit, it's not going to work. It's just as simple as that. Don't try and guess with this one on the back of here. I just make your life easier. Honestly, make your life so much easier. So with that said, I'll push that underneath for the time being, bring that down so you can see it. Glue needs to go on this part here. If you want that wiggle time to get it into position, all purpose is going to be your best friend, okay? But it's entirely up to you. And I'm quite reasonably confident, she says after the first four part, of popping down our tape pen for this one. So again, I'm just going to bring this in and just make sure I'm covering that bottom section. Could make it a little bit easier and have that bit of wiggle time on top and put a bit of extra glue on just to give it that wiggle bits into place. And then when you're positioning this, think about when it's twisted up, how you want it. So again, I want my diamond points to go there. So I'm going to just literally pop that on. Before I actually commit to sticking it down, make sure that I've got it where I want it. And that looks absolutely fine. I just think it's a bit difficult to see it with this upside down angle, so I'll just pop it there so you can see it. Pop it on square, and then you've got that angle when it twists round, okay? So that is that part done, Joe. And then we're going to do the same with the other star this side. This time it's on this part of the triangle. And again, when you're placing it on, just think about where you're popping it to twist it so that you've got that nice little twist there. So again, bit of glue, chosen glue, red liner tape, whichever one you want, bit of wiggle time there just in case it all goes wrong again. And then we're going to pop that on, and you just take that corner into each corner. It makes it a little bit easier on yourself. And then just place that down. And again, let me just make sure before I actually commit to sticking it on that I'm quite nice and even and straight. And that looks about right, Joe. So I'm going to go in there and just give that a little gentle push. There we go. So we've got all of our panels now ready. Now what we're going to do is put the toppers into place to stop that from moving and manoeuvring around. Does that make sense?
Does indeed, yes.
Perfect, perfect. So we're going to go in first with the middle one. Now I've got me foam pads. I'm going to give myself that little bit of wiggle time again. So I'm going to pop a bit of wet glue just onto the back to get this right. And I'm just going to position it where I think, let's just have a little, yeah. So I'm going to just position it. Again, this depends. Just move those out of the way for a second. Depends on how far you back you want that to sit. So I'm going to go with there, but I have got that bit of a wiggle time to get it into place. So again, let's just have a little look. Bring that forward. I'm happy with that. I'm quite happy that it's central as well. So wiggle, push, commit. There we go. That's that stopper. And then I want my two little ones. So going back to these two little panels, let's peel off the back in there. When you are using these, again, I'm going to put a bit of wet glue onto the back of each one. And then I'm going to just turn this. And I'm going to this is going to act as a little skew whiff diamond shaped one to hold it into place. So I'm going to pop that. And because I haven't committed just yet, I can get that into its position. Perfect. So I've got that coming out from this angle. It does look about straight, doesn't it, Joe?
That does.
Sometimes on this camera angle, it looks really skew whiff, but I don't think it is.
I think you're right.
I know, just when I'm looking at it, when I glanced up then, I thought, is that quite right? Is that Does that look right? It looks a bit skew-whiff there, but the ability, because I've got the wet glue into place as well, means that I've got that wiggle time to manoeuvre it into its place as well. So let me just push that underneath. Let's just get that a wiggle. Give it a little wiggle. Little wiggle, little wobble. Commit that down. Let's pop that into place as well. And then pop that in. There we go. Let's push that behind. Yeah, that looks about right, Joe. So I'm just trying to make sure that that sits up nicely. There we go, that's better. There we are. Ooh, phew-wee. Now, when it is dry, because it's flopping back, that's only because I haven't given it a nice bit of a burnish. Do that when it's dry. However, I can get away with it because I'm going through the back. And I'm just going to run my tool over the back crease there. And there we go, that should work now. That's better, Joe. It's just giving, and I really should have gone over that at the very beginning. Make sure, if it doesn't bounce back and it doesn't sit right, just make sure that that middle fold is nice, a nice burnish line across there, and it doesn't half help when you're popping your easel part together. Come on, Debbie, let's get that lifted up, because I want to just show you and twiddle it around. In fact, I could do this way round. What are you doing, Debs? Let's get that front angle camera going, George. There we go. So now we've got it all constructed, and this is the bit that I said was optional. Grab yourself some gems. Grab yourself some butterflies.
How did I know there was going to be gems?
Well, you know me so well. I've got to have a bit of bling. Got to have a little butterfly, but you can embellish this to your heart's content. You've got all the work part there, and if I just lift that up for a second, I'll pop those butterflies on in a second, but you've got the main element going there. I mean, you could put some florals in the centre, Joe. Nice. You don't have to put butterflies. If butterflies aren't your thing, you don't have to, but what you've got now is that perfect easel. Look how gorgeous that's all looking.
Really lovely.
Using those invested nesting dies. So all I'm going to do, Joe, is I'm going to titivate by adding my little butterflies on there.
And now you can just decorate this as you see fit then now,
Of
Debbie.
course
Go
you
to
can.
town, more is more, less is more.
Exactly.
Whatever you fancy. It really is the very, very last call on the scallop collection. 2 of them. 2% of the stock is remaining on them, so you really need to be faster than your basket. Have we got any other warm tones left, Georgina? Is that gone now as well? If it's in your basket, check it out. If it's in your basket,
If it's
congratulations.
in your basket, check out, yeah.
If it's in your basket, congratulations. Get it checked out.
Yeah, if it's there, good luck. No, I'm you know, all of the, you know, every single one, from the paper pads to the dies, they're all beautiful. Just going to turn this around because I can't get my butterflies on backside, upside down and all the rest of the way. So I'm just going to pop using it to the front. I'm going to place my butterflies on there, and then I'll finish off with my gems, Joe. But I'm just going to be doing that. This is just the extra bit that you can do. And it is just, it's entirely up to you what you embellish this with.
Now, what I would say is if you have finished, if you are done, please get your photos into us. studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk, studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk. Details are over there on the bottom of your screen. So send us your pictures. We'd love to see them. If you don't quite get it done before the end of this show, you don't get a picture in, don't worry, because myself and Debbie are back for the 1-year anniversary show of Colour Me Happy at 7 p.m. in the UK, which is 2 a.m. Eastern Time. No, it's not. It's 2 p.m. Eastern Time, Joe. So you can send us your pictures in that show as well. So if you don't get them done by the end of this show, don't panic. You can send them in so we can get a look at them in that later show as well. Seeing as you're just sort of freestyling then there, Debbie, and going for it, I'm going to run everyone back through, if it's okay, Debbie could be there for days with it at this point, honestly, days. I'll just quickly run everyone through the scallops. If the scallops are in your basket, you need to be really fast for them. There's only a few of these left, but I will share with you, because these were the ones that Debbie used. You've got your scallop square, your scallop circle, scalloped oval, and scalloped rectangle. So that is the first option for you. $33.96 or $33.96 or $44.03. Platinum members with the extra 5% off. Remember, everyone in the club is getting an extra 5% this weekend until the end of Sunday. $25.47 or $33. So do grab those. We then have for you the zigzag, and with the zigzag exactly the same. You get the circle, you'll get the rectangle, you'll also get the square and that oval. You could just do exactly the same, just give you a slightly different feel. So it's up to you. So do grab those. Now, I want to share the paper pads with you. The warm tones, I'm not even going to flick through it. If it's in your basket, check it out. You've also got as well the neutral tones for you if you want to go for those. They are available. 36 sheets of your blacks, whites and greys. You've got your sunflower tones available to you as well. So do grab that. These are a 230 GSM, so good all-round weight, these ones. The Pretty Pastels, 24 sheets in here. This is a 300 GSM. Do grab that one. This one's beautiful. 50 sheets in here, so absolutely loads. So 180 GSM. It is your everyday bright. So you've got their really lovely selection of awesome colours there in that one. We've then got some more. Oh gosh, and these are just delicious. I'd absolutely be going for these ones. The lovely lilacs. This is the first ever pad of pearlescent paper that we did. All these ones I'm about to show you here actually are pearlescent that I'm about to flick through. So you've got the lovely lilacs, 24 sheets there, 250 GSM, double-sided too on that pearlescent. So for box making construction, you're going to love them. This is the orange sunset, and again that gorgeous pearl, which is just wonderful. You've then got caramel and cream too, which is that chocolate brown is just so lush. And that navy. I think that navy might be one of my favourite colours we've done of all time in our pearl cardstock. Then you've got some patterns. These are also pearl as well. And these are a 200 GSM, so a little bit thicker than our usual paper pads. But they are also, as well, you can see the gorgeous designs that you've got in here. These are also pearlescent and double-sided for you. 30 sheets in that one. This one here is your summer sunset, which is just beautiful. Some lovely faux inky backgrounds in these, a little bit of a 70s vibe to it too, which I'm enjoying. And then this has been out of stock for ages. I don't know how we've got this one back in. The navy and blush. It was one of your most favourite paper pads of recent times. It is in stock. I think it is absolutely gorgeous. Do grab those. $19.99 or $24.95 if you want to grab those ones. Oh gosh, that's a fabulous amount of cardstock there, isn't it? Ugh. Honestly, I should have put me, I would have put me weightlifting belt on it had I known. Gosh. Right, now we're going to move on to those mix and match sentiments. I want to recap these for you. These are brilliant because they do mix and match, as the name would suggest, and I can't believe you get this many of these for this price. So let me go back through what you're getting included. So you're going to get thank you. You'll also receive good luck, special friend, thinking of you, just for you, happy birthday, and happy anniversary too. So do grab all of those. A really awesome deal on those for you because Platinum members $31.48 or $35.60 today to get hold of them, which is wonderful. Lots of you sending your photos, which we like. Aish saying her card's coming together beautifully. Mary loving the demonstration. Eleanor as well says, I love this easel card. Great job. I am going to have to get these dies in order to do this. Right. Debbie is done. All finished. Isn't it beautiful, Debbie?
Well, I just had to butterfly it up and gem it all up, just for my own peace of mind. But you can do whatever you want with it. Once you've got the idea behind there and you saw how easy it was to put all that together, that is your finished product. There is no more to do. It is all done. You can see now this is what we've done in real time from start to finish, with the stamping card being the base and then those beautiful inverted stitched scallop squares to create this lovely feature. Like I said, you could have a play with them as well, Joe. You can play around with them. We'll show you some samples in a minute. I can't wait to see how the girls have been doing, and I can't wait for you to share your pictures because you might have chosen different colours. You might have chosen different paper pads. You might have chosen a completely different way of doing it. You might have chosen a different die. I can't wait to see how you've been using and creating it. I hope you've enjoyed the craft along. I told you, Joe, did I not? That we'd start from start to finish and get that project done. And absolutely, it's just a glorious way of using them. Hundreds and hundreds of different ways that you can use them. They're absolutely beautiful, these dies.
They are, and I know it's a concept that you really, really love working on, Debbie, so it's lovely to see. Do you think, Debbie, we've got time to squeeze one more demonstration for you?
I'll give it a go. I'll go and get myself all ready.
You get yourself hosed down and I will catch up. I'm going to catch up firstly with the lovely Emma. So let's check in with Emma and see how she is getting on. Oh, hi there, Emma. How is it coming along?
I finished.
Oh, fantastic. That's what we love. Can we have a little look? Oh, classy.
Oh,
Debbie, isn't that amazing?
Oh my God, I adore that. That is beautiful.
Oh,
Joe,
thank
we
you,
need to find out,
Debbie.
Emma, what papers you've used, because that is stunning. Absolutely stunning.
Good old Centura Pearl.
Hey, you can't beat a bit of Centura Pearl. That is beautiful.
And that's the lace edge you used, was it?
It is the lace edge ones. Yeah, I was lucky enough to get that, and then I've used the Lily Garden Butterfly and Sentiments because I didn't have exactly what you've used.
Yeah, I must say, Emma, you are a very, very talented crafter. I think it looks stunning, absolutely stunning. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to give it to
thank
someone?
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I've just really enjoyed doing it. It's been a pleasure to do it along with you.
Oh, it was a pleasure to have you here
Yes.
in the studio with us, Emma, as well. Do you think you'd come back on and join us again sometime?
I'd love to. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Brilliant. It was lovely to have Emma on the show, wasn't it, Debbie?
Yeah, absolutely. And always a pleasure. And I have met Emma before. Emma came along to a craftaganza when we had our last craftaganza, didn't you, when we were down at Evesham. So it's lovely to see you again, Emma. And that card is absolutely... What's that Sarah terminology that she uses? Off
Tremendous?
the chart. Tremendous off the chart. Absolutely
Thank you.
beautiful.
That means a lot from you, Debbie. Thank
Oh,
you.
bless you. Don't be daft. Honestly, Emma, these are
Well, you're gonna
just...
set her off, Emma.
Yeah, honestly, you've done a fantastic job. Gorgeous colour combination. But again, showing you a different way and how striking that looks with those beautiful colours that you've chosen for the Centura Pearl range. Just shows you don't have to go bright. You can go beautiful. And that, right up my street, those colour tones. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Well, Emma, I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. I hope it's fabulous. And I hope I get to see you back here again on Crafty TV really soon.
Thank you, Joe.
Take care. Bye-bye. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Now, we are going to go live from Sleaford to the USA. Pamela is here with me. Pamela, how are you getting on? Did you manage to keep up okay?
Yes, I did, Joe, and I am finished here. If you can see.
Oh, boom.
Oh my goodness. Now, again, just that different take by taking them and twisting them creates that beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I love that. Oh, honestly, Pamela, that is just glorious.
Pamela, if you just
Thank
hold
you
that
so much.
If you just hold it up close to you in front of your face, we'll be able to see it beautifully. There we go. Look at it in its full glory, Pamela. I absolutely love it. I think it's awesome.
Honestly, beautiful. And again, I just love that take, Joe. It's absolutely fabulous. Beautiful.
It is wonderful.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
So, Pamela, what's then planned? What do you have?
There
What
we
do you
go.
have planned for the rest of your weekend there?
Thank you. And can I just show you? I have your interlocking aperture, Joe.
Oh,
Your
I'm excited to see this. The other way. That's it. I got it. I can see it. There we go.
Oh, now, I love that. That's beautiful. And again, using some different ideas.
Floors,
Using
and then
what
I
I think
have
you've got in
one
your crafty
more.
stash. Absolutely love.
Ah, there we go. Look at that. Boom.
Oh my God, I love that.
I love it. It's like an illusion
Yeah.
stacked one, isn't it?
Oh, it absolutely is.
Yes.
Ah, fantastic. So, Pamela, what you got planned for the rest of your weekend? Is it nice and warm there? Because it's freezing here.
Yes, it is very warm. It's probably going to be around 80 degrees here today.
Oh, absolutely gorgeous. And when do you? Which evening do you teach the crafting class?
Well, I usually teach on the second Tuesday of each month in the afternoons here, but because of the COVID situation, I haven't been teaching up there, but as soon as our restrictions are lifted, I'll go back to teaching up there again.
Well, you'll have to let us know when you are back, when you all get together again, and we'll give you a bit of a shout out. It was lovely having you on, Pamela. Would you fancy coming on again sometime and joining us again?
Oh, I would absolutely love it. It's been so much fun. I enjoy Crafters TV. I am totally addicted. I've been watching for crafter, and I'm like a 15 platypus. So
we love that.
I absolutely, Sarah is fantastic. She recruits the best people, and she has a great marketing strategy. She knows where us crafters are and what we want.
And we also have the best crafters as well, Pamela, because without you guys, we'd be nothing. So it's as much thanks to you guys as it is thanks to us here in the northeast of England as well. Pamela, a massive thank you for coming on the show today. I really hope we'll get to speak to you again soon. Have a lovely weekend, and I hope you and the guys will get back together again soon.
Thank you so much. You too.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
It's so lovely having meeting our crafters, isn't it, Debbie, and putting names to faces.
Oh, absolutely, and it's lovely to see both of them, and lovely to see their takes on them as well. Love it, absolutely love it, Joe.
Well, we're not going to do a demo of the show because we know what the demo of the show is going to be, Debbie, don't we? I think it's fair to say the craft along by default is demo of the show, so we're not going to worry about that because I know we get some concerned people in the comments if I forget, which is good, Debbie, because I often forget. I need people to remind me, so thank you to those people.
Absolutely. Joe, shall we squeeze one more little one in? I have already kind of done a few little bits here, but because we've got a few extra minutes spare, I thought I'd use a couple of the different dies that we've got. I've got the inverted stitched zigzag square. I have to say it slowly because, phew, they're all coming the same way, where you've got those outer pieces, you've got the internal pieces, which creates that lovely zigzag, and then it goes down in size in those increments, which make for the perfect nesting dies. And the same with the circular one. I've took one off, I've got one to one side here. But again, same with the inverted stitch scalloped circle as well. You can have a little play around with them, have a mix and match. Can I just show you one of Craig's? Fell in love with that. I absolutely fell in love with that card. Just another way of using them. We're so used to thinking of them as being inverted and nested and creating that. But look how gorgeous that is. It's absolutely beautiful. I've got one more to show you if I may, because I want to squeeze these in while I can. I mean, come on.
Nice.
A trick of the eye, an illusion of the eye that you can create. So we talk about all the different ways that you can use them. Absolutely sensational. They are fantastic, they are. So with that said, let us use, I'm going to use some black cardstock for this one. We'll use the outer part. So let's pop this on, Joe. So again, I'm just going to use this particular one, and I'll use one of the others, but I have done a bit of pre-cutting of others that you can see dotted around my glass mat. So always take care to get it into its place. Make sure when you are using them, you tape them down so that you don't get no movage, is that a word? It is now. So nothing moves is what I mean. So you don't get no slipping and sliding and losing your die, but where your die gets lost underneath the other one and snips it in half, because it happens, believe you me. So make sure you do use your low tack tape to tape them down. So I've got a bit of black and white going off here for these two. And again, I am just going to, let's pop this on here. There we are. There, fabulous. So I'm going to pop that there for a second. And then I'm going to bring in my plates. Now, Debbie, what did you do with your plates? Can I get two of them on there? Let's have a look. See if we can get in there. Get me square one. Oh, I've had a move. I've had a movage. I talk about that word, even though it's not a word in the dictionary. I'm sure it isn't. But I'm just going to pop that in and
maybe
make sure.
Maybe we could get it added, Debbie, because they add a few new words every year, don't they? Maybe you could put that suggestion forward to the Oxford English Dictionary and they could get movage put in there for you.
Yeah, we need some Debbieisms, I call them. I can't help it. It just comes out. It sounds all right in my head when it starts off up in the brain. And then when it comes out the mouth, I think, what did you just say? That didn't sound right. That didn't sound right at all. There we go. Yeah, I'm just going to make sure I've got this into place. How are we doing for time, producer and director George?
We have got just under 7 minutes left in total.
Should be easy enough to get this together because I have kind of cheated and put those bits into place. Now I'm going to use my platforms for the normal thin metal die, and we're going to run that through and hope we don't get any of those slipping and sliding movage parts. Pop that through, and again you can honestly, sometimes I wonder where I'm going. Right, hang on a minute. I feel like we should have just finished the show when we finish there. Just keep it, because it's all going wrong now. It was doing Debbie. So well. It was going so well. So again, look at it. Can I just take this zigzag out for a second? Even the waist part is just a gorgeous mat that you can use for something else. I mean, look at that. That is
Beautiful.
absolutely beautiful and striking. But then look at the frame. Oh la la.
Yes, please.
I absolutely adore the zigzag. Absolutely gorgeous. And then we've got that lovely stitched scallop on there as well. And now we'll have a little play because like I said, I've already done a bit of pre-cutting. But you can see, I mean, look at this. Don't even use that. I'd be using that on something else. There we go. So let me put those dies to one side for the time being. Let me just going to make sure I've got everything in order there, Joe, because everything's starting to go skew-whiff now. So let's get our card blank. Let's bring this card blank in. Got myself a little chippy-choppy, like a gatefold, but just a fold-open card there. So again, I've taken some very striking colours, some of our gorgeous non-shed glitter cards. I've chosen from the floral cardstock, another one of my favourites, into here as well. So, but again, because it's double-sided, you can have a little play around with the papers, and I quite like that stripy background. So I'm going to pop my glue just onto the back. Let's stick that down. I'm going to have, in the background there, we'll have a little bit of a frame going off. Now then, can I get away with twisting it? No, I'll pop it straight. Let's, dotty tape pen, Debbie, come on. There we go, let's pop our dotty tape pen around the back. And again, just gonna pop that into the centre. Nice little frame. I can see pictures of my loved ones behind the back of these. Do you know these frames? Lots and lots of ways that you can use it. I am going to pop, foam pad. I got carried away and cleared half of them away. So let's pop little foam pad just on the back.
Scallop's gone, by the way. If it's in your basket, you need to take it out. The scallop nesting dies have totally sold out.
Have they really? Wow. Mind you, I'm not surprised. They're all beautiful. No matter which design you go for, they're all beautiful. They really are. The lovely, lovely designs that we've got at Crafters. I'm surprised they didn't do a heck of a lot more during the designs when they
well, maybe a watch this space situation there then, Debbie.
Well, I was just thinking bigger ones as well, different designs. I mean, the world's your oyster, really, isn't it? Now
really
then,
is.
pop that on. That's going to act as my front part. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take, I've got said ones already chopped up. So you can see, I'm going to have a little bit of a fun factor going off with these. I'm going to put a couple just on this side. So let's just, I'm just going to go onto that side. So I'm going to pop that one on the front. I'm also going to pop this one on this side as well. So like I said, have a little play. I'm gluing down only half there. But then I'm just going to pop that down and just manoeuvre that into its place. There we go. And then on the other side, I've got a couple of little pieces. And again, you've got those solid dice to create the solid feature. And again, just pop a little bit of tape onto there. I'm going to pop
Whilst
that
you're
one
just
over
finishing
the top.
up there, Debbie, I know we are a bit pushed for time. I'm just going to have a little look through the pictures that have come in while you're getting finished off. Is that all right?
No, that's absolutely fine, Joe.
I just don't want us to run out of time. And we've had some gorgeous ones in as well, Debbie. Look, Barbara Rastovsky. What a great name that is. Barbara Rastovsky sent this one into us. She's done a single easel. Love that.
Love that, Barbara.
Really beautiful.
A single easel card, and again, really beautiful, using lots of different ways that you can pop those together. Absolutely love that.
Brilliant. Val didn't have these particular dies, but has managed to craft along nonetheless, which I salute you, Val. That looks incredible. I love that.
Ooh,
really
I love
nice. Pam
love
Craven.
that.
PPE Pam.
PPE
she always
Pam.
creates something stunning, doesn't she?
Absolutely.
Absolutely gorgeous. She's done the rectangles there for a bit of a different feel. I like it though.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Well, we didn't even name, but I think this might be the person's username. Glowcat has done this one. I love what Glowcat's done here and twisted them the other way, Debbie. Interesting.
Yeah, that is really nice. That's
cool.
lovely,
Love that.
Absolutely, love that idea as well.
Now, remember, you've still got time. If you're still finishing up, you haven't quite tackled it yet, you've got to do it between shows of Craft Along. Let us see those pictures in our later Colour Me Happy show, which is going to be awesome. That's great, Debbie.
Right, so what I've just done there is I've stuck this outer one on the left-hand side and the blue on the left-hand side. The white one and the black one I've stuck down on the right-hand side to create a lovely little opening. So it's just a nice way of using them again and a really funky way. Now, I could add some more detail to that because I could add a little ribbon on there as well, but they just interlock, so a really nice little feature just by sticking those two, the larger one and that third one down on this left hand side and the other two on that, and it just creates that lovely little opening. So again, another fun way of being able to use these. Absolutely beautiful.
Really, really lovely. Don't miss out on them. We've still got the zigzag inverted nesting dies available for you. Don't forget all the paper pads as well. Massive thanks to Debbie. Myself and Debbie were back with you in a couple of hours. Huge thanks to you guys. Don't forget to get the pictures into the later show for us too. But here is a little bit of a look ahead of what's coming up here on Crafters TV.
So it's not long to go until our first anniversary show of Colour Me Happy. We've got lots of amazing deals and demos planned for you, plus maybe a little mystery bag included. So make sure you join us at 7 p.m. UK time, 2 p.m. Eastern time. We'll see you there for that show. Bet we've got on Saturday Play Your Crafts Right with our lovely Becky and Jan, where we've got lots of amazing demos and deals for you. So, and let's not forget the prizes. So what will it be this week? Will it be Team Facebook or Team YouTube? Make sure you tune in at 12 p.m. UK time and 7 a.m. Eastern time. We'll see you there.